Hello and welcome to Weekly Creep. This is our new podcast. I'm Adam and this is Dulce.
I'm Dulce.
And this is going to be our new podcast about just generally dark, mysterious, macabre stories. I'll probably do mostly spooky things like just what the fuck, unexplained, but we're hoping to cover a whole array of everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, not too strict on...
No. And it's not going to be a serious podcast. Because there's things that I can't talk about or can't say with a straight... to put it plainly, I make myself laugh.
Yes.
So you'll probably hear me laugh at myself and my jokes.
Some of the subjects may be very serious, but we're hoping to keep it lighthearted. So
yeah, well, we'll try, without being insensitive, of course.
Yeah, and we're gonna drink a lot of tea while we do this.
Well, you will, as is your nature.
Yes, I'm programmed to drink tea.
Anyways, do you want to get started on the first story?
So yeah, okay. Welcome to episode 1. Dulce actually doesn't know what this is going to be about either, because I wanted her to have a reaction in real time. So hopefully you actually enjoy it. I haven't heard of it.
Cool.
So this is the El Paso High School. Dun dun dun.
Oh, El Paso. Okay. Yeah, no, I've never heard of it.
So this is relatively local to us. It's in Texas. Anyway. Sources that I used this week, because I don't want to be called a plagiarizer. Mandatory.com. There was like a short piece off that I got. This one website called hauntedrooms.com, which I think is like an El Paso based. I think maybe they do tours or something. The Prospector Daily, which seems like a very informative newspaper. seeksghosts.blogspot.com. I actually got a lot from that because it was kind of like, again, like local information. Some stuff off Wikipedia, a little bit from Reddit, and surprisingly Instagram, because the most recent post, like all of a sudden, like 2 months ago, this video came out, and it was again off like, I think, what are they called? FitFam El Paso is their Instagram. And so again, it's another like local El Paso group. It has a lot of followers, and when people saw this one video, they all started saying, "Oh shit, like this is my school and I went here and this."
Wait, so the Instagram page is called FitFam?
Yeah, like it's not a ghost or haunted thing. I think it's like a fucking personal trainer or like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah. But anyway,
good to know that they're not 1 or 2 dimensional.
Yeah. So anyway, this high school is still functional.
Oh, okay.
Well, as functional as a pandemic high school can be.
Oh, yeah, so not very.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it still has students, and I'm sure
staff and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a little bit of history, because it was actually like pretty interesting. It was opened in 1916 and is called The Lady on the Hill, because it's like located up on this mountainside, like looking over the town of El Paso.
So the building is called The Lady on the Hill?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know, and it's like pretty badass. Like, I'll show you pictures.
Rad.
Also, we will have an Instagram by the time this comes out, and I will put the pictures up on there too. So at the time they built it, it cost around $500,000 in like 1915, 1916 money. So I did the math with my own brain.
Impressive.
Today that would have cost almost 12 million. Yeah, for a fucking high school.
Sorry if that hurt your ears. Natural reaction.
So it's like built like, it's called Greco-Roman. I didn't know that until yesterday. That's a thing. So like, you know, with the big pillars and shit.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, like it literally looks fucking like sick. Anyway, it's got marble floors in the halls, quarter sawed oak. I put that in because I thought it was hard to say. And luxurious hard maple floors in the classrooms. And in my notes I have bougie AF.
Good.
Because, like, yeah, like that's some serious shit.
Yeah.
This whole section is just like random facts about like the building itself, because I thought it's like, you know, I think this is where a lot of the lore comes from as well. It's just because, like, it's this fucking massive school, like, on top of that hill. Anyway, so they had the first concrete stadium in the US, which my friends on another podcast were only talking about. The Canadian, like, quote unquote stadiums are like big enough to hold like 150 people. This one, back even in 1916, holds 12,000 people.
Dang.
Yeah, which to me, like, that's nuts.
Yeah, especially for El Paso. El Paso's tiny.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but
well, compared to Houston.
Yeah. But anyway, in 1922, the local KKK decided, let's rename this Sam Houston High School, which leads me to think, like, maybe Sam Houston wasn't that nice of a guy. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they decided, like, because he is this hero of Texas.
Yeah.
Let's name the school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because the KKK proposed it, they just went with it. Luckily, that didn't last that long, because in 1923, the locals were like, fuck the KKK.
Yay.
And as far as I could make out, I did do a little bit of research. They got them, like, disbanded or whatever in that, like, local area. I'm sure they kept on, but they weren't as prominent.
Yeah. Okay.
So fuck those guys.
Yeah. But you know, they have like a massive Sam Houston statue going towards Dallas. It's one of the biggest things I've ever seen. That's what she said. But it's so huge and scary. Yeah. But they should take that down. I'd love to see that. Okay. But anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
We'll work on that next time.
Okay.
So anyway, on November 17th, 1980, I don't know what happened in between 1923 and 1980, but it officially became a registered historical landmark, and the name of the people that do that is something like the National Registry of Historical Landmarks, which I thought was funny. The esteemed alumni, now this is impressive, include Academy Award winner F. Murray Abraham.
Who is that?
No fucking clue. But he won the Academy Award for his part in Amadeus in 1985.
Oh, good for him.
Which I think was a thing about Mozart.
Okay.
And he was also Tony from Lady and the Tramp. I don't know who Tony is.
Neither do I. I just remember the Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Like the lady and the tramp.
Yeah. Unless Tony was like maybe the owner.
I meant like the guy who gave, like the guy who cooked them the spaghetti.
Yeah, maybe. You know, Tony with the spaghetti. But yeah, so I thought that was impressive, and also Representative Beto, Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I had no idea. I just thought it was funny because
his name is Beto.
Beto. So yeah, I thought it was funny because it was like Mexican first name, Irish second name.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, if we have children, that's what they'll be.
Yeah. Little half and half. So, I literally just included him because it was a funny name. Apparently, he was like some politician or something.
Yeah, he was.
So, now this is where the story kind of gets like murky in where the facts come from and what is just local lore.
Okay.
If this is true, it's pretty badass and it's cool. But anyway, it was apparently used as a morgue during the war. Now, which war? I couldn't exactly find. The closest thing I could get to it was the 2 world wars.
Okay.
Was in one of these articles that I had read. So it was used during the war, which I'm guessing was World War One predominantly, because it was also as like an overflow morgue for victims of the Spanish flu. But I couldn't find any actual proof except for this quote from this lady called Linda Troncoso, who is the president of the El Paso High Alumni Association. Illuminati. The El Paso High Illuminati. The El Paso High Alumni Association and tour guide. That's her official title.
Dope.
Quote, There are rumors that the school was once used as a morgue, and that's true. It was, unquote. So
Okay.
she seems like
Sure about
pretty
it.
fucking sure about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay.
And that was taken from her interview with the Prospector Daily newspaper. So that's all the history and stuff I have. Anyway, the like classic stories from the place are, as far as I can make it, this is true. Again, it's all like word of mouth, supposedly from teachers though, and stuff. So this weird sealed off classrooms, which are literally, this is what I had seen this like months and months ago, like randomly on Instagram or something. But these classrooms are full on bricked off. Like it's not just like, oh, there's like old desks blocking the door or something. Like full on brick walls covering the windows and stuff. And where like the building is so old now that a lot of the construction, like add-ons and stuff, has like damaged older parts. So anyway, this teacher found this room, and he said literally they look like someone just ran out mid-class and never went back in there. Like it looks perfectly preserved, other than like it's mad thick dust. So these are quotes again from like things. There's books still open, like students' notebooks and stuff, like pencils, love notes, supposedly to like some girl from like 1920, and really really early Baby Ruth wrappers on the floor. Like the chocolate bar, for those who don't know what Baby Ruths are.
For a second, I thought like I
Little
Baby
miniature
Ruth.
hip hop artist.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I had to specify. Like, no, this is not like just some like super hip El Paso rap group. So this is a quote from the same teacher. I just wrote the same teacher. I didn't say as what, so I'm assuming it's the same teacher who found the classroom. During afternoon practice one day, in the gym below his classroom, two large doors that led into the tunnels swung open violently and hit the outer walls. They were locked up again, because they assumed like, oh shit, like these tunnels go underneath the school, like as was just like, I guess, construction back in the day. Like they would always build like elaborate tunnels and basements and stuff like that for, I guess, storage and stuff.
That's weird that they'd have them in El Paso because we're below sea level.
Well, this is built up on top of a mountain.
Oh shit, you're right.
So maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, but anyway, and like obviously students and stuff aren't allowed down in these tunnels. But there's all like graffiti tags and shit, because now they do tours of the tunnels where you can go down. And
wow.
They're not like mad spooky or anything. Like they're purely functioning, like, you know, big AC ducts and stuff like that. And obviously students have gone down there, and this is where a lot of spooky shit comes from.
Okay.
So anyway, these dudes are in the gym this day, and these two big heavy doors blow open and spooks everybody out. But they're like, oh, make freak wind, whatever, this is an old building. So they lock it all up again and put like this big heavy bench and stuff in front of the door. Like, right, that's not going to happen again. But then the door slammed open again, sending the bench flying. And these basketball members, who were, quote, all gang members. Now, I don't know what kind of school this is.
Yeah.
Are they like just employing local gang members to
Well,
be...
I mean, if they have Baby Ruth rappers.
I mean, maybe that's the gang. It's the Baby Ruth rapper gang. But yeah, anyway, everybody just pegged it. They were like, fuck this. They all ran.
Right.
Another like common story from the place is like blocked off hallways and stuff. And they kind of make out like there's all these, you know, tons of different hallways that are just blocked off and go nowhere. But as far as I can make out, there's really only one. And it's not even like a full like long hall or anything. It's just this one particular hall that goes to a stairway that leads to a balcony, and it's blocked off because apparently in the 70s, again, no names, no actual proof, but some young girl slit her wrists and then jumped off the balcony because she just really wanted to make sure that
it stuck.
The job was done.
Yeah, that's insane.
Pretty intense way to go.
Yeah.
And like then there's all sorts of like story, you know, oh, her boyfriend didn't come back, like crap, basically, you know. But the legend has stuck that, and so much so like that the teachers believe this, you know.
Yeah.
So people over the years have reported seeing this girl. Like there's a lot of, you know, one particular teacher was like late at night, walking through, and like locking up the school or whatever after an event or something, and he sees the student, and so he goes down to her, and she just like looks back up all sad and morose, and then he realizes that he can see through her. You know, but that's happened quite a lot, like where people have seen her like either jumping or just seen like an injured girl.
Wow, so they see her jumping.
Yeah, which,
just to reiterate, they see her jumping.
Supposedly,
that's wild.
They see her jumping.
Yeah.
And in this hallway, there's reports of weird goo dripping from the ceilings and strange mists that show up at least once a day.
Ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm. And yeah, strange mists. I guess like kids like peeking through the doors and they're like, oh my god, I've seen straight. But again, like multiple reports of this same thing. And so the biggest, and I have pictures of this here, the biggest kind of ghost story from the place is in 1980 at 1985 class photo from a yearbook, which is I think hanging in like one of the trophy cabinets or something in the school. They took this picture and all the students were like accounted for or whatever, and there's two stories. One that like holds true for both stories is that this chick wasn't in the negative, and then when they got the picture developed, she was just there. And the other story is that even when they got the picture developed, she still wasn't there, but over the years
she just appeared.
Slowly her figure has become more prominent. So
wow,
I'm going to show you right now. So it's this lady here.
You're fucking kidding me. It looks just like a regular student.
Yeah, so she's like a little blurred out. She kind of looks like Adrian from Rocky. I think so anyway. What? So yeah, that's the story, is that, you know, she wasn't there, and then
she just
was there. Yeah. And supposedly like these, because all these people are still alive, like this was 1985, you know what I mean? And they all say like there was nobody there that day, blah blah blah, like, you know, this is, they have no explanation for
so eerie,
for this lady showing up. Again, these are the photos that'll be in our
Instagram.
And then this one seems like it's just trying to kind of ride the coattails of this 1985 picture. So in 1960, in a recent yearbook, they found this old photo from 1916, and it was taken as the school was being built. In this photo is the figure of a young woman in a white dress. Again, no one knows who she is and why she is there. In the original negative, she does not appear. She again only appears in this yearbook print. I don't know, like I do believe in like weird shit, but just off the bat, I'm gonna try and be as skeptical as possible.
Right.
In general, like, which I do try and like,
yeah.
So for this particular one, kind of just looks like a lady was just there that day.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's 1916 and they were just thinking like, that woman shouldn't be outside of her house.
Well, like on the flip side of that, because of the way that it looks like, and I don't know crap about photography, but it like this looks like a picture that was taken for the purpose to just show like the sheer grandeur of the building.
Yeah, and like progress.
So they wouldn't. So if a lady jumps in, they're probably going to be like, oh wait, like you need to move because we're focusing on this building here.
Get out of the way.
Yeah. Or what they would do is probably take another picture just in case she was in the shot, you know, and they'd submit that one for whatever the heck, wherever you got this from. They wouldn't have submitted this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point. And as well, I don't know who has the negatives for these like 100-year-old pictures.
Yeah.
But if she's not in the negative, then, you know, maybe...
How is she doing in this picture?
Yeah, and she does have like a weird, like looking white dress.
Yeah, she
like
looks...
short sleeves and stuff. So.
She looks more solid than the other one, like more in focus. Yeah. So I can see why you would think how you do.
Yeah, and so, yeah, they're kind of the biggest, or the 1985 photo is like as soon as you Google El Paso High School, this photo comes back up.
That's wild.
Kind of like, I guess they have supposedly tangible proof.
Mm-hmm.
So the school is like, check this shit out. Like, this is our haunted photo. But another, like, fairly consistent report. I say fairly consistent. Like, I did go through like what felt like a lot of different like actual articles and then like Reddit posts, and all the stories kind of corresponded, or they were all just like reposts of these stories. So anyway, this was very consistent, and I'm just going to read it out because it's a quote from again another teacher. So it's another teacher says a group of students stayed late to finish the layout for the yearbook. Again, it comes back to the yearbook, so I'm starting to wonder what's up with these fucking haunted yearbooks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a school.
Yeah. Well, we don't have yearbooks, so that anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think so. We had like just class photos like on the halls and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a quote. He sent his students home around 9 p.m., but he stayed until 11 to finish up some loose ends. I wouldn't do that. Me personally, that's ridiculous.
Right on.
Anyway, as he went to exit the school, he spotted a young teenage girl wearing a 1940s style blue chiffon dress standing in the red glow of the exit sign. Thinking she was a student, he asked her what she was doing there. When he got no response, he told her she best go home. She looked over at him with a sad expression. He walked toward her, but stopped when it dawned on him that she was transparent, and she was not standing on the floor, but instead was hovering in midair. As he approached, she floated down the hall and disappeared into the darkness. So that's just the actual quote. I know I'm kind of doubling back on myself now. So that's one quote from a teacher, which we should believe teachers, I guess. So anyway, during the 80s, this is another actually pretty cool story. During the 80s, the track team returned one night. They had been in like San Antonio or something, and they had won like the state track championship. I don't fucking know.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, they came back, and it was like 2 a.m. and the teacher brought them into the school to put all their stuff away in the locker room. When they heard people upstairs, it sounded like they were rushing towards the auditorium, screaming, shouting, laughing, and specifically pep rally noise. But yeah, they heard like cheerleaders and shit, and so the teacher was like, "How? Like they wouldn't even know that we won. Like we literally just got like
That's
this is the
crazy.
80s.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?" So he was like, "Oh well, shit. Maybe they're like maybe this was some kind of weird surprise for us." So he runs
At
up.
2 in the morning.
Yeah,
though?
I know. But he runs upstairs to check it out. Leaves all the team because again, I'm sure he doesn't want the students roaming the halls late at night.
Right.
He goes up there, and he can still hear it loud as day. And as he gets to the auditorium doors, nothing.
Wow.
Just absolute silence. Checks the doors, it's all locked up.
Yeah.
So he can't even get in there.
Right.
So he goes back. He actually had the master key like back in his office or something. He goes back, opens the place up, double checks, locks it all up again. He's like, oh, what the fuck is that? Goes back down to his students again, and all this comes back up again. And they specifically said that they heard the Tiger Fight song, which I guess is like their school
Their
cheer
anthem.
or
Yeah.
their anthem, and more pep. So again, he goes, checks, nothing, and just goes back downstairs to the boys or boys and girls. I don't know. I went to an all boys school, so that's why I jumped to that. Anyway, yeah, and so they continued like putting away their gear or whatever they were doing. All the while, this music and noise was still going on up ahead.
That's
So I'm sure
insane.
if this actually happened, they put their gear away really fucking fast and
yeah.
got out of there. Like,
Yeah.
So now, because again, this is a current functioning school, custodians and other staff now refuse to work on the premises after 9 o'clock. And that seems to just be a rule. I don't even know if like they have student functions or anything after. Well, obviously not now, but Yeah, so I did find reports of people who had like sleepovers in the school and stuff, and like nothing happened. So anyway,
That's interesting. That nothing happened during the sleep. The like, I think they call them like lock-ins.
yeah, probably like watching movies or whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah. We did that at my high school once.
I say it's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Yeah.
And I don't know, like...
We did it after prom. It was like a lock-in.
Oh, you see, a lock-in in Ireland is very different. It's when you get locked in a pub after hours.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, on June 15th of this year, Instagram user...
FitFam.
No, so the original video is from @PrettyBoyIsaac.
Okay.
Which I did try to get onto his thing. Like, he's a kid, like... And his shit's, like, set to private. So I felt like an absolute creep.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go to the direct source. Anyway, he actually posted the video. But I think he sent it straight to this FitFam El Paso. Who then reposted it or posted it for him. And right now they have like 140,000 views on this one video. And in the video, which I'll show you later.
Yeah, you fucking better.
Yeah. They zoom in on a window of the school and you can see, and it does like look like a person standing in the window. Then all of a sudden it just blinks out and it's gone.
Okay.
The one thing I will say, because I have direct Instagram quotes and they're pretty funny.
Dope.
But this video being put up led to all these other El Paso locals and high school students, or past high school students, sending in all their own stuff.
Good.
Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's what this podcast wants. We want your personal, spooky, unexplained, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Personal accounts. Anyway, so a week after this original video was posted, FitFam El Paso posted kind of like a compilation of these strange photos. It kind of happens like pretty quick, and you know, like if it was a YouTube video, maybe it'd be easier. You could pause and like zoom in and stuff. So it has like just weird figures in the windows when like people are posing in front of the school, faces in the windows, and the most like there's security camera footage from what looks like the basketball court. It's indoors, and there's like a few random orbs, which are like, you know, whatever orbs. But then it looks like a car drives past and the whole place kind of lights up. And while that happens though, there's like a dancing white light stick figure. And like I'm sure if Zach Bagans had his say, he would be like, it looks like somebody is playing basketball. It kind of does, like, you know what I mean? Like just this weird straight white light that kind of like shimmies up and down the court. Again, it's while a car drives through and illuminates everything. But I love that shit. It looks really cool. So this is just some of the comments from Instagram. FitFam El Paso just said, upon seeing our chilling El Paso High School video the other night, many of you submitted your own ghostly encounters at the campus. So then we have the Queen of the Borrowed Light. Well, that's a pretty extravagant Instagram name. She said, I graduated and was in the theater for, I think she means for all of the years of high school. She just phrased it weird and I can't read it. I was with two other people when someone was running up and down the catwalk, and then a gust of wind moved the theater curtains. So I'm sure she means an invisible someone was running up and down the catwalk, like not just her friend was running up and down. Anyway, she says the theater curtains are super heavy, there's no windows, and they just ran the fuck out of there. So she goes on to say, there's a reason they say you shouldn't stay past 6 at the school. That's just one incident. I saw a figure of a girl pass the hallway on the 4th floor in broad daylight one day after school. I was alone in the hallway and it scared me to death.
Shit.
Yeah, so then Eileen _ Cam04 said...
I love the name Eileen because in my head I'm like, I lean back, island, right? We left. I know it's dumb. Anyways.
Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up. So all you Eileens out there.
You lean whichever way you want.
You lean, you girl. Anyway, so this Eileen says, I have EVP recorded of El Paso High crazy shot. We never heard the voices at the time until we heard them after. The other girl used punctuation. This girl didn't.
Oh,
I just wanted to make sure. But she actually has a link to a YouTube video which I haven't checked out. I forgot to check that out. So we'll look at that later.
It reminds me of, but who was phone?
But who was phone? Yeah. So that's just two. Again, like there's like 1,500 fucking comments.
Yeah.
I wasn't going that deep into it.
Uh-huh.
We got so YVVNG danger. Oh, sorry, dagger. Anyway, he says, my pops used to do energy audits for EPISD. So that's the school district, El Paso. Something.
Independent school district.
Okay. And he would take us in the middle of the night, and we would go through the whole school, including the basement.
Damn.
Best experience of El Paso High.
Wow.
So he doesn't say anything paranormal. He just says that was his best experience while attending the school.
Cheeky. He's hiding all the good stuff.
Yeah.
All the stories to himself.
So then we got, and this comment, it's going to sound real dumb.
Okay.
But it is legit. Like a lot of other people have backed this guy up, and I've seen it in like a number of sources.
Okay.
So current._C. That shit fake, and my friends went last night. The thing that vanishes is a street lamp that when you stand up on the park path, up on top looks like a light is on inside, but in reality is a reflection. 100.
Does it say 100?
Yeah, it actually has the little
oh yeah, it does.
emoji for 100. But anyway, so what he's saying is like just the angle that these kids were standing at when they took this picture in the first video that went out. It's a street lamp, and I've seen like people backing it up. I like that. Debunk all the shit, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I like having a reason for why. Still looks spooky. And it still meant that this second video came around that had all these other like miniature kind of clips and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
But yeah, so that's El Paso High, and I was reached out on Reddit to this person who
went
who I don't know whether she's currently going or
went to
El Paso, but she says that the most paranormal experience of her life happened there.
Yeah.
But she's currently looking for upvotes, I think. I'm not a Redditor. I don't really know. So she basically says, if this post gets more popular, I'll tell you the story.
Oh, what?
Which I'm kind of like, come on, like, is it even that fucking good? But I commented on it and I was like, here, like,
here's an upvote.
Like, tell me, like, just if you have good stories. So, if anyone from El Paso or in the future episodes from whatever stories we do have has personal experiences where they can go, oh my god, it wasn't El Paso, but my high school, this happened, or, you know, similar situation happened to me, reach out, let us know, because primarily that's what we want
right
on here. But yeah, so that's El Paso High School.
Nice. Well, are you ever gonna show me the Instagram video?
Oh yeah, you want to watch it right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my natural reaction, right? Let's do this.
I have it saved.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the first one.
Okay.
Did you see the dude?
What? Oh shit! Oh my fucking god!
So that's the one. It's a spooky video. Obviously, like the sound edits make it
That
very
was so
Ghost
good.
Adventures.
Like whoever edited that, you just fucking made my eyes water up. It scared me so bad.
So, well, that's the first video, which has been supposedly proved. I don't like it does.
Like debunked or
that?
Not?
This is the one that they've supposedly debunked.
Supposedly, strong word. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like I wasn't fucking there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks spooky as hell, which to me that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's real or not. it's a good video.
Yeah.
But that's the one then that went on to this. Like, you see this motherfucker in the top window? Hold on.
Where? Oh crap! That looks like a little girl. Oh no.
So.
Oh hell no.
That could be an L. It does look like Mothman or something. But I like, you know. So this is the.
Damn.
It's like pretty strong orbs again. Could be a fly. Could be dust. You see that's the light from the car passing.
Oh.
Right? I'm assuming. See this wheelie little guy?
But see, like, if that was the light from the car,
okay,
then you see more lights.
Yeah, well, you see the way, like, all 4 of those lights come up at once.
Yeah, so but that one stays at the bottom.
Yeah, that one stays, and I didn't realize. But yeah, so, what did you bring to the table, Dulce?
All right. So, I just wanted to talk about a personal encounter.
We love personal encounters.
Okay. We do. So, and just to reiterate, like, we want all kinds of encounters, like weird encounters that can be creepy encounters with weird strangers, weird family members, you know, accidents or like paranormal, like, you know, ghostly things, poltergeists, aliens, Bigfoot. Adam wants a Bigfoot story.
Bigfoot stories.
So if you have a Bigfoot story, don't be shy.
Yeah. So, and like, again, doesn't even necessarily have to be paranormal per se. Just like, I know I personally have had strange encounters with just meeting random people, like standing outside a place and like some like stranger comes up, or like I supposedly, you know, that the king of the fairies and stuff, you know. So
you should tell that story later.
I will eventually. I want to find out.
King of the fairies.
Yeah, I need to find out what happened to that guy first.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. So my personal story. Well, when I was younger, and when I say younger, I mean like when I was 19, 18, I had a friend, and me and that friend, we were really into witchcraft. And, you know, like, I was fascinated with witchcraft. I was always fascinated with witchcraft. And he was sort of like my mentor because he had been doing it for a very long time. And, but he was interested in the occult, you know, not just witchcraft and spiritualism, but like just darker things. And I didn't, you know, I was way out of my league there when it came to those kinds of things. So, so he brought out a Ouija board.
As you do.
As you do. He brought out a Ouija board because he told me, he was like, I know there's a spirit in my apartment. I know there's a spirit in my apartment, and I want to use this to talk to it. And I don't think anything will happen because it hasn't done anything bad. It doesn't feel bad, you know, that kind of thing, you know? I'm
just going to jump in and say, this is a terrible idea.
I know.
For anybody out there.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. So he brought out that Ouija board, and he was like, let's talk to it. And I'm like, all right, dope, let's do it. So we didn't get anything at first. And the planchette started moving, and like I said, this was a long time ago. You know, the details are hazy, but the things that I do remember is that after just a few minutes of that planchette being moved, like afterwards, he was having trouble breathing.
Oh shit.
So he said that he started feeling pressure around his throat. Okay. Yeah. So, like, we just abruptly stopped, you know, and I was, like, so scared because I didn't know what to do. I was...
Yeah, what the fuck do you do?
Like, what do you do, you know? Like, and then, like, I didn't want to wake up his mom because, like, it was in the middle of the night, and I'm like, oh my God, he can't fucking breathe. And so he was struggling for, I don't know, it seemed for a while, and I was just... I mean, what do you do? What do you do? You know, like, I was telling him, like, okay, what do you want me to do? And he was just like, you know, salt, you know, like, put a ring of salt around us.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And it seemed to dissipate this thing that was going on.
And was it like he couldn't breathe, like I'm having an asthma attack, or like
No, he was an asthmatic.
Is choking? No, but like
yeah, like he was choking. Like I've never had an asthma attack, so I don't know if it's what he was feeling is similar to an asthma attack. But what he described, it was a pressure in his throat, which in my head, like it kind of sounded like someone was choking him or something.
Okay.
You know. So anyway, so that happened, and so I went home after that.
All right, bye, Bob.
And you know, after that, I was still, you know, that was one of the, I think I did the Ouija board once more, like
just for good measure.
Just for good measure. But this was like years after the first experience, and the second experience that I had, and I'd only had two. Nothing happened, but nothing happened after that. But the first one, right? So I go home, you know, and a few days pass, forget about it. And because I was a closet witch, I kept my my little box altar inside my closet. I have
so you were literally a closet
literally
witch.
a closet witch. And there's a shelf in my closet, in my tiny closet, and I had it on that shelf. Just remember that. Yeah. So after that experience, I myself had started getting insomnia. For some reason, I was just always nervous. You know, I tried to go to sleep, but I couldn't. I was
just
felt like
after this, like
okay. I felt like somebody was watching me. I would hear knocks on the walls, and you know, when I think about it now, like in retrospect, I don't hear knocks on the wall like I did back then.
This house is very quiet.
Yeah.
Like other than the AC, which probably you can all hear.
But you would always hear just.
Yeah.
Like you would always hear it, you know? Weird. And sometimes you would hear loud bangs. And I think it's interesting how I'd be the only one that noticed them.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it was only for my...
You were the only one that was meant to notice
Exactly.
them. Like,
yeah. Anyways, so I would hear knocking and stuff like that. And it made me really nervous. And at the time, I was really naive, obviously, playing with a Ouija board. But I would... You know, I would start to, I started to relate my practice in witchcraft to evil, you know, because I was raised that way.
Yeah.
So you know, if you're doing witchcraft, it's because you're evil.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, shit, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And so, like, after, those thoughts entered my head, you know, I was reconsidering my practice. So anyways, and a few days later, after, you know, all that's going on, me and my mom come home one day. I think we had gone to the store, and it was typical. We came home, we came inside, and nobody else was in the house, right? I think it was in the summer or something, because it was hot as heck outside. I guess it's always hot in Houston.
Yeah.
But nobody was here. My dad was probably at work, and we smelled something burning. And we both did.
Yeah.
So we panicked, and we were like, what the fuck is that? You know, like we thought maybe there was something burning inside the house. Maybe we left something on. We opened the windows to let the smell out. Like it was very strong. And I thought maybe it's somebody outside, because in our neighborhood, you know, people like to barbecue all the fucking time. So I went outside in the backyard, front yard, and I walked inside, but the smell was only inside. So I have a really good nose. So I was basically following the scent. And while my mom was walking around the house to find where it was coming from, I had because of my thoughts about witchcraft and the guilt of me practicing, my gut feeling was like, check your room. So I went to my room, and it still smelled in there. It smelled in here too. And so I went to the closet, because that's where I felt like it really smelled, right?
Yeah.
But I grabbed some of my clothes in the closet and I put it up to my face, and I didn't smell anything. They just smelled like clothes, I guess, like nothing.
Yeah.
But it smelled so strongly in there. And I parted my clothes, right, so that I could see the shelf behind the clothes. And I put my head close to the shelf, and I could really freaking smell that smell of burning of sulfur is what it smelled like.
Yeah.
And you know what they say, when you smell sulfur, it's something
It's
demonic.
Yeah.
Right. So I pick up my altar just with my hands, like I just pick it up, and something told me to put my hand underneath where the altar was sitting, and I rubbed my hand back and forth on that shelf, and I put it to my face, and that's where it was coming from.
What?
From underneath my altar.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But had you brought that box with you that night?
No. Wait. I mean, I might have. Like I said, the details I can't remember. Yeah. But if I was if I was planning to do a ritual with my friend, then I would have brought my altar. But if we were just like if we weren't
just
planning it,
shit,
yeah, we're like, fuck it, let's just bring out the Ouija board and fuck with it. I wouldn't.
Again,
there'd
don't
be no
do
reason.
that.
There'd be no reason to bring the altar, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't remember, but I'm wondering, like, now, like, was that a way of, you know how like in the movies where it's like, if someone is possessed, what they'll do is they'll start, or the people around them are like, oh well, let's start reciting Our Father, you know, and you know, because that's the faith that they know.
Yeah.
The faith that they believe in, right? Or not even believe in, but the ones that they're
It's
familiar with.
Yeah, it's what they have.
So because of the faith that they have is what threatens sort of like demons. You know, it gives them a reason to get pissed off.
I see what you mean. So
I'm wondering if because
was this like the protection thing?
Yeah,
this was a threat to them.
Yeah, because of my faith and well, I guess it wasn't that strong, but because it was like, okay, this is what she believes in. This is what we're gonna fuck with. Yeah, it was like having a
crucifix.
Exactly.
In your fucking thing. Yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah, maybe. Like maybe that's exactly what it was.
Or maybe it was like, yeah, let us make her believe that her guilt is justified, and maybe she'll stop.
Maybe it was that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Maybe it was something else in the house that didn't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe Granny was still hanging around or something. You know, like...
Yeah.
Could have been, I don't know, but... I mean, yeah.
So, yeah, so that's my story.
Personal story number 1.
That
was actually really cool, yeah. Alright, well, I guess that about does it. What we're going to try and do in the future episodes is... hopefully have guests either submit their stories and we'll read them to each other, or actually come on the show and tell us their stories. We can ask questions and stuff like that. Basically, we're just going to try and bring fresh bowls of spook every week. And like that, like I know I've had like just a handful of weird experiences, not necessarily ghost stories. Like our family, like everybody has that one what the fuck story that they can't explain. Like, oh my god, there's a baguette in the freezer, and they never had any baguettes to begin with.
Yeah, like they don't sell baguettes in that area. Yeah,
like I've never purchased French bread.
Yeah, or some shit like that. Yeah.
So
so like if we don't get personal stories, then maybe we'll pull from Reddit. Yeah,
like that's like that, the El Paso High School, maybe everybody else has heard of it. I certainly haven't.
Yeah.
And what I don't particularly want to do is like go back over the same stories that
everyone else is doing.
Yeah, and like, cause
like how many times? Yeah, like how many times have you heard?
Waverly Hills.
Waverly Hills. Exactly. Yeah, Amityville. You know, like we don't want to fucking regurgitate this shit.
Yeah, and
that you hear on podcasts.
Yeah, and as much as like that's where we get our kicks from, like, is listening to these, but basically we just want to hear maybe more localized stories. Again, even if it's not necessarily true, just a good spooky tale, like, or local like a folklore lore.
Yeah.
Like the Hellfire Club was where I came from, like and that is a spooky place, but like I'm not certain that the devil really played cards there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna sign off. You can find us on Instagram at
Weekly Creep Podcast.
all one word, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No underscores, no nothing like that.
Yeah, and if you want to submit your story, find us there, DM it to us.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can, like, I guess we can read it.
Yeah, we'll, like, if you want, we'll either read it out for you, or if we can arrange, like, we can do it over some app, I don't know, Zoom or
Yeah, or
whatever
if
these
you
kids are doing these days.
yeah, and if you don't want to look at us, then maybe you can record
Record
yourself.
Yeah, send it in, absolutely.
And we can do it that way, and we'll just plug it in.
Yeah.
You know, beautiful.
And yeah, so that's it.
All right, so
Everybody
we'll
have a spooky time.
Oh. So cheesy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking
Okay.
right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.